Hey, so welcome back to my channel. I know, a long time, no upload. I do not have an upload schedule anymore due to work. But as you can see, I am not in the bathroom. So that means I'm not doing hair, I'm not doing makeup on myself or anyone else right now. Instead, I am going to be showing you how I make, tonight's dinner. My husband actually saw that I had boneless, skinless chicken breasts, and he's like, oh, can you make this? And I'm like, yeah, I can do that. So what I'm actually going to make, I've had my parents try and my mother-in-law try, and I cannot remember if my father-in-law has tried it or not, which, Donnie, if you're seeing this, I'll have to make some for everyone at some point. So without any further ado, I will tell you what I'm making for dinner. But before we get to that point, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, turn on your bell so you don't miss any future spontaneous uploads, and please don't forget to give this a thumbs up. Alright, so now that that's out of the way, you might be able to see Dalton. Oh, there he is. My thighs are in the way. He's down here. He's kind of hiding because this is the third time I've re-recorded this intro. The first time he just started acting goofy and making weird noises, and no. Second time, like, his allergies are starting to bother him, so he has a tendency of coughing and not catching the cough. And I I got food out right now, so couldn't have that. And then he will continuously fake cough, and it bugs the holy bejesus out of me. So what we're doing is, well, I'll tell you what I got out first. First, I got some mild cheddar cheese in a block, and I got the hardwood smoked bacon. Now I got some boneless, skinless chicken breast. So if you're putting it together, I make cheese stuffed bacon wrapped chicken breasts. So the hubby asked for it, asked if I could make it today when he saw I had bought chicken. So I'm like, yeah, cool, no problem. So let's get into this. First off, hands are already washed. I know my hand looks kind of funky. It's because it's stained. I tried to dye my hair, but didn't have gloves to start with. Then I got gloves, and when I rinsed it out, it stuck to my hand, which I need to go back over it because black hair extensions and greenish, bluish, blackish on the top, so that needs fixed. Anyway, so first thing we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cut up the cheese because I just can't stick a whole block of cheese in one chicken breast, so obviously I need to cut it. Sometimes, I'm over here cutting the cheese. If you get it, you get it. If not, get a sense of humor. Anyhow, so I can't put a whole block of cheese in one chicken breast, so I need to cut it up. Sometimes I cube it, sometimes I just slice it, and all I'm going to do right now is angle y'all downwards so you can see more of what I am doing. Maybe not. Apparently not. Apparently my tripod's saying no, that's a no-go. So let's see. There we go. So right now I'm just going to cut this into thirds. There's 1, 2, 3. So update on life. I told you I was going to do updates on life. First off, my kids are growing up so fast, like crazy fast, which when they're younger, everyone's like, you're going to miss when they're little, and I'm just like, I'm sure, but I'm also ready for all these babies to get out of diapers. And now Dalton is 8, Jackson is 7, Maddie is 5, and Dallas is 4. So yes, if you don't already know, I do have stair-step children. It's called Irish twins when they're within like 2 years of each other, but they're all back to back to back to back. So I call my Irish quads. So Dalton is now in 3rd grade. Jackson is in 2nd, Madison is in kindergarten, and Dallas is in pre-K. So it's going too fast. So yeah, it is going fast. I did not believe everyone when they're like, it's going to go so fast and you're going to miss it, da 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 da. So one thing I am really, really stoked about is my kids have all had the same pre-K teacher, and she is a freaking godsend. Because for those of you who do not know, Dalton here has autism, and he also has impulsive explosive disorder. Basically, the smallest thing can trigger him. He can go 0 to 1,000 in 0.3 seconds. And she has been so good with all of my kids, and she actually took time with Dalton and gave him one-on-one, and she's treated all my kids so good. And I'm happy that Dallas got her, because last year when Dallas was in Head Start, when we go to pick up Madison, he's like, can I go with you, Miss Amanda? And of course he couldn't at the time, and now he can, and he's so happy, and I'm happy that we got her for his teacher. So far that has been amazing, and I expected nothing less. And let's see, Madison, oh Lord, she's been my little problem child this year already. So from what I've been told by her and by Jackson, is apparently they're letting kindergartners out with like the 1st and 2nd grade during recess, I guess. I don't know how that's working. But like the 2nd or 3rd day of school, I have Jackson run and get in the car and everything, because my kids are car riders for right now. And he's like, Madison and her friend threw dirt, well, they have like kind of like sand up there, but it's not, it's like a mix of dirt and sand in some areas. Anyway, she's like, well, he was like, Madison threw dirt in the football player's eyes, which they have like the little junior sport, whatever the hell it is. So apparently Madison and her little friend threw dirt in this little boy's eyes. So that's great to start the year off with. And then 2 days ago, I believe, Wednesday or Thursday, Jackson has a friend that he's had the whole time he's been in school, and it's actually the SRO's son. Dalton, place it down. We're not getting into stuff on top of the fridge. Anyway, it's the SRO's son. Well, apparently, like I said, the classes are having outside time together, da 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 da. Oh, side note, got all the cheese cut up. And anyway, so Jackson's friend is the SRO's officer's, I feel like I'm saying that, SRO officer's son. So apparently they're outside, and for some reason this little boy decides to, oh my god, it's funny but it's not funny, decides to go over and tell Madison, who is 2 grades younger than him, that she is psycho. He's like, you're psycho or you're psychotic or something like that. Anyway, basically called her psycho. Okay, she is 5 years old, so Jackson found out about it. The second that I picked my kids up from school, Jackson's like, oh, well, guess what happened today? Da 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 da. And Madison cuts him off completely. She's like, well, I'm not going to say the boy's name, so. Oh, Benjamin said that I'm psycho. And I'm just like, wait, what? She's like, yeah, I was just playing with, and said her friend's name. And he comes over and told me that I'm psycho. So, of course, I couldn't help but kind of laugh at her reaction. She's like, Mama, it's not funny. I said, baby, it is funny. She's like, no, it's not. And I'm just like, yeah, it is. So I'm getting mean mugged by my daughter because some other kid. Okay, so I'm cutting the end of the chicken breast, kind of making like a pocket, but this chicken breast was not very well cut. Anyhow, so she's getting upset because I'm laughing about it. I said, baby, I said, next time someone calls you psycho or psychotic, just be like, yeah, I got it from my mama. She's like, I didn't get it from you. I said, go home, ask your daddy if mama's psycho. I promise he'll say yes. And so that happened. And she was in all kinds of a little uproar about it, which made it even more cute. But so she's already managed to throw sand / dirt in one of the little football players' eyes and had another child call her psycho. So, needless to say, it's going to be a very, very interesting school year. Okay, so I'm struggling right now because the whole chicken is like very, very thin. So, I will have to show you how to do this on a normal piece of chicken, which will probably be the next one. So, I'm just having to rig this one up. It does have a smidge of a pocket here. I believe you can see that. And then the rest of it's flat, so I'm just having to take this end and kind of like diaper fold it, I guess. And I will wrap that in just a second. So, that's what's going on with Maddie. Of course, Dallas is doing amazing because his teacher is a freaking angel. Now, Jackson, oh boy. I feel like I'm going to need some alcohol if this child does not stop. I love him to death. No, there's not alcohol in it. No, I don't drink anymore. I'm just saying it's one of those situations where it's like, I need a damn shot or something. So, last year, Jackson loved school. He looked forward to school to go hang out with his friends. And little Mr. Playa, the player, had 2 girlfriends. Not one, but 2. 2 girlfriends. Alright. So, I'm just like, okay, well, you ain't got a girlfriend, but you do you. Of course, every parent is like, you don't have a boyfriend, you don't have a girlfriend, da 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 type of thing. Keep in mind, my child is 7 years old and he is in the 2nd grade. So, he gets to school, and even on the first day, he was like, I don't want to go to school. So, of course, he has to go to school because mama ain't going to court for truancy, period. Then he comes home and he's just in a ill mood. I figure, okay, well, maybe he don't like his teacher, whatever. It happens. And so he's been getting an attitude, like a grown man type of attitude. He hates everyone, everything. Everyone is invalid. Okay, not grown man attitude, kind of mama attitude on the low. But he went from loving school and being so excited about school and so excited about seeing his friends. Okay, so this is how the pocket with the chicken is actually supposed to look. and you just stuff the cheese down in there. But anyway, he used to be so excited last year and everything, and he's been getting an attitude and not wanting to go to school and like literally crying because he doesn't want to go to school and everything. And then my husband basically interrogated our child to get to the bottom of his attitude and what is going on with him and all this and that and everything else, just like one-on-one boy talk with him. And come to find out, his girlfriend, like I said, he said he had two, but I knew of one because every time I went to pick up Madison, I saw them out on the playground together. His girlfriend moved. And so, as an adult, we would typically be like, oh, it's okay, you'll make other friends. So, of course, my husband did that whole song and dance and everything. My child, my 7-year-old, is legitimately heartbroken, crying because he doesn't want to go to school because she's not there. Because he did the whole thing with, is he your teacher? No. Do you still get to see your friends? Yeah, my friends aren't the problem. And he's like, is it because of homework? And he's like, well, I don't like the homework, but that's not the problem. Like, going through this laundry list, trying to figure out what is causing our child to act this way. And kind of find out it's because his girlfriend moved. And this child is in full freaking heartbreak. Like, complete 100% full heartbreak mode. He does not want to go to school. He doesn't want to do his homework. He isn't excited to see his friends or anything. Like, this child's world is just devastating. So, that's why I said I'm going to need a shawl with this one, because it's going to be a very, very interesting school year. Basically every year, I guess, because this child gets another girlfriend, she moves, he's going to lose his mind. So, that's what's going on there. As for Dalton, ow, that was my toe. He has, I don't know how much y'all know about it. I'm pretty sure I spoke about it on here before. Like I said, he has autism and the impulsive explosive disorder. And so, his first day of school, his doctor was supposed to call in his medication. And she's like, oh, well, we need to have a meeting. And we had the option of virtual, which helps us out a lot. So I'll go ahead and call, and I'm like, look, he is out of medication. It wasn't called in, this, that, everything else. And so she's like, all right, well, I'll call it into your pharmacy until, like, give you enough until we have our meeting. So I'm like, all right, cool. I appreciate it. And that was on a Wednesday or Thursday. So I'm like, okay, well, we'll wait until such and such day and it should be ready. They're like, well, give it like the next day before you go and check on it. So Saturday, there was a car show. My husband and my dad are in the same car club, which is hosted at my parents' ice cream shop, which I'll tell y'all about. And I rode my motorcycle down and my husband drove the car. Yes, I have a motorcycle. Yes, I'll show you pictures. Yes, if you're riding a motorcycle, it's not common, but I'm not common. Anyway, so my husband's done with the car show. He's ready to go home, get the kids home and everything. And I stayed to help at the ice cream shop because car show days, it typically gets busy. And I'm like, oh, on your way home, can you stop in and pick up Dalton's medicine from the pharmacy? And he's like, all right. I'm like, well, crap, they're about to close, so need to hurry. So he got back in town and everything, and I called the pharmacy to make sure that they had it ready. Couldn't find out the doctor did not even call it in. So we had to wait until Monday before I could call again. And so Dalton's first day of school, I went to the door and I'm just like, is there a way that I could talk to Dalton's teacher? It's regarding his medication and his behavior. And the woman who was a teacher was kind of being a pain in the ass. She's like, oh, well, you can't go in, and some of the teachers aren't here, da-da-da-da-da, this, that, everything else. I'm like, okay, well, this is important. Like, is the nurse or someone from the office here or whatever? I need to talk to somebody. Oh, well, they won't be here till later, da-da-da-da-da. And I'm just like, well, I said, let's put it this way. He is autistic. He has impulsive explosive disorder. His medication was not called in, and I want to make sure that the teacher is informed of this. That way, if he has any outbursts or anything like that, it is handled the proper way instead of how it was handled when he was in first grade, because that was interesting. Anyway, so she's like, okay, well, I can write it down and have them get in contact with you when they get here. Like, alright, sure, fine, whatever. So, thank God she actually did relay the message to the teacher, because I did get a call and I did explain the whole situation. Well, the medicine was supposed to be at the pharmacy Monday evening, because I called back Monday morning and I'm like, look, this is what's going on. This is what I had to do. It needs to get fixed. You need this medicine now. Okay, well, they'll call that in for you. No problem. Like, I spoke to the nurse and everything on this one. Well, the nurse at the doctor's. Da-da-da. So, it was supposed to be called in. I was told it was called in by the doctor. No, that is not what happened. I gotta wash my hands. Okay, I got my hands washed. Anyway, so I called the doctor Monday, and they're like, well, it's supposed to be called in. Give it a couple hours, and it'll be there. So, the pharmacy closes at 6, so 5:30 rolls around. Ooh, excuse me. Drank soda. Anyway, 5:30 rolls around. I'm getting ready to go to work, so I call down to the pharmacy. Hey, is his medication in? What's his name? Told them name, birthday, everything. They're like, no, it's not here. I'm like, his doctor was supposed to call it in and said that they called it in. They're like, no, sweetie, it's not here. I'm sorry. So, Tuesday comes, and I call the doctor back, and I got the woman at the front desk, of course, and I'm just like, okay, this is Dalton's mother again. I've called 2 times, and y'all are supposed to call it in 2 times, and it never happened. This needs to be fixed immediately, because this is absolutely freaking ridiculous. So, they're like, oh, well, it was called in. I'm like, that's not what the pharmacy said. All I know is that it needs to be fixed, because he's in school now, and it needs to be taken care of, because if he does not have his medication, he will act out, which means I will be getting phone calls because y'all ain't doing your damn job. Okay, this poor receptionist caught hell because I was over it, like over it. And so I called the pharmacy back, and they're like, yeah, it just came in. Okay, if it just came in, then it wasn't already called in. They got tired of me calling down there and raising hell, and the receptionist apparently got someone in gear because shit finally got handled. But anyway, Dalton's teachers this year seems like she's going to be a pretty good person to deal with. He is in physical therapy, occupational therapy, and speech therapy. All provided by the school, which I love. So, now that he is in 3rd grade, he has a new speech therapist, and when the teacher called me, the new speech therapist actually made sure that he contacted me too, which I thought was absolutely freaking amazing, because that didn't happen last year or the year before. Especially not the year before, because that was, oh, Jesus. They really pissed me off year before last. But he has a male speech therapist now, and he seems like he's actually going to give a shit, which is freaking awesome. Like, he called to make sure that what was going on with his medication was known about, and like asked me about it firsthand. And when his teacher called me, she talked to me, and I'm just like, look, if something does happen, he does not have his medication. If he gets into one of his little fits, like, if you get down to like his eye level and actually have him like look you in the eye and communicate with you that way, you will get better results. And I told her how year before last, how that teacher really didn't give her a shit, or I was gonna say rat's ass, didn't give a shit about whether he had his medication or this, that, everything else. All she knew is that when he didn't have his medication, he acted out, and then he was put in basically a shitty ass teacher's room. And yeah, but this year it seems like it's gonna be really good. Last year his teacher was really good. She was so sweet. But so yeah, it seems like this year for Dalton is going to be better. Madison seems to have a good teacher. Dallas's teacher is a freaking angel in disguise. And it's just going to be an interesting school year. So we're just playing the waiting game with that. Anyway, as for me, like I said, I now have a motorcycle. Yes, I do know how to ride. Have I started riding to work yet? No, because there's a couple alterations that need to be done. I need a new throttle cable, which I'll probably buy next week. And I gotta make sure my turn signals are good. But work in itself is not, it's not where it used to be before. I mean, physically it's where it used to be, but the way that it's being ran and the lack of give a shit about the machinery and the condition of the place has drastically increased. But part of it's because we've gotten new, I call them suits, new people in the office, and some of them just don't care, which is unfortunate. And in a workplace, if you care about your employees, they care about you. But that just, unfortunately, is not the case. And it's the people that's in our physical office. I know it's not the people above that, because when they come in, they actually go and check out the machines and all that jazz. But it's been interesting. I've had a couple, well, one incident that has literally caused me to have a panic attack on the floor, which that doesn't have anything to do with the people in the office. But there's not consequences for people's actions when there should be, because I have, what are you doing, baby? Okay. I have had a maintenance guy physically put his hands on me, and nothing was done, because I don't even think that information got to the front office, because I was told that it would be handled, and it was not properly handled. I'm not going to say what happened or who it dealt with it, quote unquote dealt with it, but people are handsy. Well, not people, but maintenance is handsy. There's no consequences for the actions, all that jazz. But yeah, work's interesting. I'm to the point where I think I'm just going to look for another job. But anyway, I'm to the point where I'm about to just go look for another job because the pay is not worth it. I'm making probably one of the lowest, well, at probably one of the lowest paying facilities as for factory jobs. And it's ridiculous, because literally 3 miles down the road, Mayfield's is hiring like $19. Denso is like $18. I called the temp service and they said that they had a lot of places starting at $16. So I think it's time for me to move on from this job. It's a dead-end job. I asked about being team lead or how I had to earn that spot, and my head's just been gassed up a lot, and nothing has changed. Yeah, so that's definitely interesting, and I think my ship has basically sailed from there. So probably next week I may inquire about a different job, because I know they're out there, and I know they're not far from where I'm at now. So yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. Part of me wants to get out of there because there is better jobs and everything like that, but I also hate starting at new jobs and meeting new people and new rules and everything like that. So that's what's going on with that. Also, like I said, I do have a motorcycle, and I'll show you that in just a second. Anyway, back to the food. Y'all saw me make the pockets in the chicken, and I stuffed the chicken with the cheese. And all you do is you grab your chicken and you kind of hold it together. I used to use toothpicks to hold it, the end of the chicken breast closed, so the cheese didn't fall out, until I forgot to tell my parents that I put toothpicks in it, and they're just like, what is this? I'm like, oops. So I just use the bacon to kind of like wrap the closing, the pocket of the chicken breast together so the cheese doesn't fall out. And when everything is said and done, this is just the bacon that I have left on top. I'll actually show you this little piece here. In here, this is just a little piece that I had. You can see the cheese, so I'll just close it and just wrap your bacon. Usually I will use 2 pieces of bacon per chicken breast, of course depending on the size of the chicken breast. But just wrapped it up, and look how freaking cute that is. Even though it's uncooked, I mean, it's so cute. Then just get my little piece of bacon and just lay over it. But any extra cheese, as you can see, I cut up and put around the chicken. The extra bacon I just lay on top, and that will go in the oven at about 400 degrees, between 380 and 400, for approximately 40 minutes. Which, if I remember, I will show you a picture of what it looks like afterwards. My clothes are driving me bonkers. Yes, I have shorts on, even though it looks like I'm just rocking the t-shirt look, which when it be a bad thing. I mean, it's alright. I'm in the house, so. But I do have shorts on under it. It's driving me crazy. Anyway, about 40 minutes from 380 to 400 degrees. When in doubt, go higher. I would go to 400 and just monitor it so it doesn't get overcooked or anything like that. If I do remember, then I will show you a picture of after it is done. So, right now, I'm going to go show you my motorcycle. Alright, drum roll, ladies and gents. Boom. This is my baby. So I am going with the Harley Quinn theme. So as you can see, my hubby made where it says Quinn, I picked out the letters HQ for Harley Quinn. I actually bought my own saddlebags. Those were $20, which we got from a friend that owns like a secondhand store, which ain't no shame in my game. This little thing was like $20. But what we're going to do, well, my husband's going to do, is we're going to sand this down, and we're doing red on either side of the pinstripe. Same for down here, red and black theme. And yes, I can actually ride it. I'm not just showing it off just to show it. This is my actual motorcycle. So yeah, that's my baby. Okay, so I actually did remember to finish this video, and this is the result of the cheese stuffed bacon wrapped chicken breast. So if you're into this kind of stuff, go ahead and give it a try for your family. If you do so, make sure you let me know how it goes in the comment below. Thanks.